When they've won, there have been heroics on hand at Citi Field. At Citi Field in New York, the New York Mets play the Washington Nationals. New York Mets baseball on SNY is brought to you by the State Farm agent of the game, Hector Camillo of the Bronx. Contact Hector at hectorcamillo.com. By Citi, learn about Citi perks at mets.com/Citi. And by the Meadowlands, Saturday is harness racing's biggest night of the year when the Meadowlands host the Crawford Farms Meadowlands Pace. Post time 6:35 p.m. And a pleasant good evening, everybody, and welcome to Citi Field. Gary Cohen, Ron Darling, Keith Hernandez with you tonight as the Mets open a 4-game series against the Washington Nationals. Clearly, the Mets have underperformed what they hoped would be their fate in the 2018 season, but to a certain extent, so have the Nationals, everybody's favorite to win the National League East, and they find themselves stuck at 500 just before the All-Star break.
Yeah, but they're 500 and they're hanging around 5.5 games back in 4th place with a lot of season left. This is a veteran ball club that we've understand from the Nationals media over there that they look kind of old. They've had a lot of injuries this year. Strasburg is out. He's due to come back. Ryan Zimmerman can't stay on the field. Bryce Harper has had is a big surprise, hitting home runs, but hitting under 220 for the season on a walk year. It's just been a season where they just haven't been able to put it together, but everybody's saying, okay, are they going to turn it on in the second half? We'll see.
The one guy the Nats have been able to count on year after year since he signed that huge contract is Max Scherzer, and he's having another Cy Young caliber year.
Well, he is. Most strikeouts, best whip. Keith was talking about Strasburg's out. It's not only Strasburg. The rest of their starting pitching has not been very good. Max, the Cy Young Award winner last year, is just being Max so far.
Meanwhile, Steven Matz is upping his game for the Mets. The results just keep getting better and better.
You know, he's been consistent. You know why? Because he's going out there every 5th day. This is the best that Matz has ever pitched for the Mets. His last 9 games, his ERA is 2.5.
Matz and the Mets versus Max. Mets and Nats. Citi Field. All the action coming your way on SNY. 10 p.m. The first 25,000 fans in attendance will receive a Mets reversible rally cap courtesy of M&M's. For tickets, visit Mets.com/tickets. New York Mets baseball on SNY is brought to you by Old Dominion Freight Line, official freight carrier of MLB. Visit ODFL.com for more information. The no fees on all Mets tickets ends tonight at 11:59 p.m. Don't be late. This limited time offer applies to all remaining regular season home games in 2018, including the Syndergaard as Thor bobblehead game on Saturday, August 4th. To purchase tickets, visit Mets.com/tickets. Time now for T-Mobile's Hats Off for Heroes with the All-Star game coming up. Here's an All-Star note. 1943, during World War II, the evening before the All-Star game, a team of Armed Forces All-Stars managed by Babe Ruth and featuring Joe DiMaggio and Ted Williams played the Braves in a fundraising effort. Ted Williams hit a game-winning home run. Not a shot. Not his only All-Star game-winning home run. Steven Matz ready to take on the Nats. First pitch coming right up. Action begins at the Home Run Derby on ESPN July 16th at 8 p.m. Eastern. Then catch baseball's biggest stars at the 89th MLB All-Star Game July 17th on Fox. Coverage begins at 7:30 p.m. Brandon Nimmo, fresh off his walk-off pinch hit home run last night, playing right field tonight. We're in the Skyline Sox. There's your Nationals starting lineup. 19-year-old Juan Soto, youngest player in the major leagues, and he has been superb. Can't say that about many others in that Nationals lineup. The Nats are 9th in the National League in runs scored. But with Daniel Murphy getting healthier every day, Matt Wieters back from the disabled list just a couple of days ago, they're hoping things begin to improve.
I was going to say Mark Reynolds has been pretty good considering when they signed him. Toyota numbers for Steven Matz: lost his last game, 6 1/3 innings against the Tampa Bay Rays, only gave up a run but got the loss. Against the Nats, career 6 starts, 1-2 and a 2.37 ERA.
Trey Turner will lead things off for the Nats, who have lost 11 of their last 16 games. 20 of their last 29. They've fallen from first place to third place, 5.5 behind the first place Braves and Phillies. Trey Turner with 100 hits this year. That's 9th in the National League, hitting .270 for the season. Most importantly, he has stayed healthy all year. Matz' first pitch of the night is a fastball in for a strike, and we're underway. Steven gave up 1 run in 6 1/3 against Tampa Bay his last time out. Only run against him came in on a ground out, but that was enough to beat him on a night when Blake Snell was fantastic.
Nice pitch there. Think about that, Trey Turner.
Grounded out to short. Reyes, against the speed of Turner, gets him by half a stride. 1 away.
Here Alexis Metzi starting infield. Wilmer at first base. They're giving Mr. Rosario a rest tonight. The red hot Rosario. Reyes will play shortstop. Polecki behind the plate. And there's your hero last night, Mr. Nimmo in right, and Matt Dendecker back-to-back starts in center field.
Dendecker had a terrific defensive game last night in his return to the Mets, and now playing against the other of his former teams. Here's Juan Soto, and he flares one down the left field line, and he's got himself a base hit. Chased toward the line by Conforto, and Soto will stop at first with an opposite field single. And that's one of the things that's really characterized Soto's emergence early this season at age 19. He goes the other way a lot.
Well, that's a little inside out right there, and when you're hot, you're hot. Coming into the game hitting .304 in 47 games, 161 at bats. He has just taken the National League on by storm.
You got an idea about Soto when his first 5 big league home runs were all hit to left or center field. Didn't pull a single one of them. And it certainly bodes well for his future. Here's Anthony Rendon, 5th in the league with 25 doubles. And he cracks one to deep left center field. Conforto goes back, looks up, and it's out of here. Anthony Rendon delivers the keynote with his 14th home run of the year, a 2-run shot, and puts Steven Matz and the Mets in an early 2-0 hole.
Just a very compact, short swing on that fastball. Upstairs, wanted it away, right down the piperoni, and he just, I didn't think it was hit high enough to get out. Can we get a launch angle on that? Boy, oh boy, did he clock that one.
So Rendon's 14th at 25 last year, and Matz quickly behind 2-0. Here's Bryce Harper, and he takes curveball for a strike. Bryce hitting just .213, but the on-base percentage high because he leads the league in walks.
Say he's been pull, and teams have been playing the shift on him, the extreme shift, and the Mets defensively elect not to here. I guess probably because the left-hander Matz.
Harper 22 home runs, 1 behind the league leaders.
Well, he's got a very compact, watch the swing here, just no wasted motion, and you don't have to overswing to hit the ball out of the park. That's a very compact, controlled swing.
Harper grounds one down to first, and Flores will make the play himself, and that's the second out.
That's 14 home runs now given up by Matz in a little over 90 innings.
So 2 out. Here's Mark Reynolds. He's been getting more and more playing time lately. Didn't sign till the middle of April, as Ronnie alluded to earlier, after sitting out as a free agent all year, which was startling, I thought, after the terrific year that he had for the Rockies last year. And then Reynolds had the biggest game of his life Saturday against the Marlins, 10 RBIs.
So he almost doubled his season production.
In that series, he had a game-winning home run in Friday night, Saturday 10 RBIs. Sunday he pitched.
That's right. Well, think of it this way. The Mets have never had a 10 RBI game in their history. The Nats have had 2 in the last 2 years.
Against the Mets.
Right.
Yeah.
Rendon last year, and now Reynolds. And he spins out of the way of an inside fastball. 1-2. Most of the first base playing time in the absence of Zimmerman has gone to Matt Adams, who's had a really good year for the Nats. Reynolds getting the start against the lefty.
Well, with Zimmerman on the disabled list yet again, last year he managed to stay healthy. Ryan Zimmerman, of course, had a terrific year. I mean, the Nationals got to start looking for a new first baseman.
2-2 from Matz to Reynolds, and he hits a comebacker. And that retires the side, but the Nats get the early lead. Soto singles, and then Rendon drills a 2-run homer. Each hitting the first pitch. And quickly the Nats jump out 2-0 as the Mets come to bat against Scherzer in the bottom of the first. Decker gets his second straight start. Kevin Plawecki his first start since Monday. Brandon Nimmo back in after a day off. Jose Reyes starts for the 6th straight game as the Mets face the heterochromic right-hander Max Scherzer.
Always a tough mark for the Mets or any team. His last start he got a win, 4 earned runs against Miami in 7 innings, Land Rover numbers. Something's got to give. Batting average against for Scherzer 179. Mets as a team are hitting 227.
Nimmo had been struggling before his walk-off home run last night. Just 4 for 22 on the homestand, but that might get him restarted. 13 home runs for the year now. And he even has one against Scherzer in his career. Mets are facing Scherzer for the first time this season. Of course, he threw one of the 2 no-hitters in his career on this mound at the tail end of the 2015 season. One of the 2 no-hitters he threw that year. One of just a handful of pitchers who's done that.
October 3rd, 2015.
Brandon's really falling back on that back leg, Gary. And when you bend that back leg, you can only swing up, and he's really developed an uppercut.
Very few pitchers in today's game, when they start their emotion windup, put their hands over their head. That is something that's very unusual in today's game. That used to be common for almost every pitcher in the game.
And a high strike gets Nimmo looking. Bill Miller giving Scherzer the benefit of the doubt. One away.
And the Jeep Nationals defensive infield, the Gold Glover behind the plate, Wieters. The right side of the infield, Daniel Murphy just back with that knee, and then Mark Reynolds, who's never been known for his glove. That is a weakness on that right side. Not a lot of range on the right side of that National infield.
So they bring the shortstop over as well, and then you don't need as much range.
Exactly.
Here's Asdrubal Cabrera.
Well, that's one of the things that we never talk about, is that the shift is there because guys pull the ball into the shift, but the shift is also there to make up for infielders that don't have any range.
Certainly takes the pressure off guys who are not gifted in that area.
The shift takes away from the spectacular infield play.
That was the cutter from Scherzer, which is the pitch he added a couple of years ago that has just upped his game that much more against left-hand hitters. Both lefties and righties now hitting under 200 against Scherzer. Jose Bautista waiting on deck. Change up away, 1-2.
He's got a good changeup too. He's got 3 solid pitches.
Bill Miller is a high ball umpire. You're not going to get anything down if you're a pitcher, but up in the zone you will.
Already seen that. And Cabrera pops one foul. That should come back out of play. Bill Miller is the crew chief. Young umpire John Libka. I think it's the first time we've seen him in a regular season game at first. Alan Porter and Marvin Hudson rounding out the crew. There's Libka. Welcome to Citi Field.
Nice.
One-two coming, and Cabrera lifts one to shallow center. Out goes Turner, and it's going to fall. And Cabrera trying for second. Taylor's throw not in time. Well, Michael Taylor came in on that ball like he had no interest in catching it. Thought one of the infielders was going to get to it, and nobody did. I mean, he never broke on this ball like he thought it was his ball.
And you're right, Gary, lollygag.
Well, that's another case that if Trey Turner is playing shortstop and not on the right side of second, he makes that play. But Rendon, the third baseman, was the one going after that. And good hustle by Cabrera.
So a gift double for Cabrera, his 20th double of the year, and Scherzer understandably unhappy.
Oh boy.
That made his brown eye blue. Outside. By the way, I'm sure everybody who watches knows that Scherzer has a brown eye and a blue eye. It's heterochromia. It's a fairly rare thing. Today, July 12th, is National Different Colored Eyes Day.
Wow.
No kidding.
They need an acronym for that.
But of course it comes on Scherzer's day to pitch. And Slider in for a strike. 1-1 to Bautista, who's in the lineup today in no small part because of his past success against Scherzer. Bautista 9 for 20 with a home run against Max. Not too many right-hand hitters can claim those kind of numbers. This year the righties are hitting just 159 against Scherzer. Fastball dents the outside corner. 1-2. Cabrera at second with one out. Conforto on deck. And that fastball off the plate. 2-2. There they are. The blue right eye, the brown left eye. You know, during the postseason last year, M&M's ran a promotion They had the blue and brown M&Ms with a little K in the middle in honor of Scherzer.
Nice.
Isn't that great?
Yeah.
2-2 coming. Line left center field. Taylor breaks on this one, but it drops for a base hit. Cabrera read it well. He'll score easily. Bobbled by Taylor, and Bautista trying for second and gets in safely. Got around the tag by the sprawling Murphy. So some really bad outfield defense by Michael Taylor in center field, and the Mets cash a run.
Boy, back to back here. Slider, flat, got it on the end of the bat. Wow, on the exchange.
And you want to know why Washington is 500.
It's an RBI single for Bautista, and with a nifty slide, got around Murphy's tag, held the bag, and he takes second on Taylor's error. And the Nats are going to challenge the call on the tag at second base.
In football, this is called the swim technique. It's how you get away from the offensive tackle. Oh boy, you might have caught him with a glove before he got the hand there.
I like the way Willie Randolph described it.
Yeah.
When he was Mets manager, he called it the old okey doke.
Okey doke. Yeah, I like that. I like that better. Did he catch his hand right here? No.
I don't know.
Might not be enough evidence. Counselor.
I mean, this is a tough play for Murph right now because he just is not moving particularly well, and he really had to push off on that knee in order to make that dive. He did the best that he possibly could, and maybe he got him. Alan Porter, who made the call, is on the headset to our right, and Bill Miller, the crew chief, to our left.
Looks like it's kind of bang bang to me. I don't know why you changed the call.
Jerry Davis and Alfonso Marquez are the crew chiefs in the replay center. I think he's safe. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it's bang bang. Not enough.
I just can't believe Bautista was able to stay on the base. That was the hardest part of the play.
That's right.
Because all your momentum is carrying you to slide by.
Those bases are very slick, especially in the beginning of the game.
Just ask Bryce Harper.
Yeah, right.
Looks like they got it.
And they reversed the call. How about that? Well, that saves Taylor an error. So it goes as an 8-4 putout. And that's the second out of the inning.
I'm honestly down to about 25% correct on these replays. Getting bad.
So 2-1 Washington, 2 out and nobody on. Here's Michael Conforto trying to snap an 0-for-12 stretch. He's got remarkably good numbers against Scherzer. 6 for 18 with 3 home runs, and he takes a cutter inside for ball 1.
Your Jeep starting outfield for the Nats. You got the big Bryce Harper over there, boy. Look at that, huh?
That is the graphic of the year.
Wow.
The 5 dancing tools.
Well, he's going to have to get north of 213 to get that one tool.
That's cued past the mound, and Rendon throws out Conforto. I think when they put together his free agent portfolio, they need to include the dancing 5 tools. That might be his best selling point of all. Second inning, 2-1 Washington. Daniel Murphy leads off against Steven Matz. Murphy got a day off yesterday. They're trying to be cautious with him. He took a long time recovering from microfracture knee surgery in the offseason.
That's 3 major surgeries, right? 2 with the Mets and 1 here with the Nationals.
I mean, the 2 with the Mets were both when he got hurt trying to turn double plays when he was a second baseman. That's hit between Reyes and the bag. And Murphy will settle for a single.
Just a single. We need 2 more hits to score him.
Which, by the way, I know you're alluding to that article we cited.
I read it again.
And I'm the one who screwed it up. I said it was tweeted by Jerry, but it was written by Jerry
for ESPN.com.
Yeah,
so we're happy.
Our mea culpa
to
Jerry Krasnick.
I read it again a second time today, and it's really very quiet in my quiet space.
Where's your quiet space?
The basic theme of the article was he talked with 3 top-notch hitters. Jerry did, and that would be Murph, Corey Seager,
Kyle Seager,
and Matt Carpenter. And Murph is very astute at hitting, and I understood what Murph was saying about hitting against the shift, and how hitters are having a hard time. And their explanation of how tough it is to beat the shift. Particularly, they're all left-hand hitters. That's an important point, folks. I understood what Murph said. I understood what Corey Seager said. But I had the slightest idea what Matt Carpenter was trying to say, for the reason he's practically waving the white flag in capitulation. Basically, that that hole between first and second that's always been there is gone now. That's what Corey Seager said. Yes, it is. And their theory is if they just get a base hit to the left side, and this is what they're being taught, then it takes 2 more guys behind me, 2 singles to drive me in. So talking about hitting over the shift, which is now the philosophy, then it's better to hit doubles and home runs. Okay, fine. But to me, you don't have to, what's missing is you don't have to slap the ball to left field to where the shortstop is. You can drive a line drive to left field. And Corey Seager made another good point, and so Daniel Murphy. That the hard cutter on your hands, Kyle Seager, excuse me, is a pitch that's hard, nice hitting right there by Reynolds. Wieters, excuse me, I'm getting all screwed up here. If you're throwing a hard cutter inside, okay, fine. That's a hard pitch to hit to the opposite field. But I'm watching every game. I'm working a lot of games. They're not throwing 90% inside. They're mixing it up. Sorry, Gary, I took a long time with that.
That's okay, but it was interesting in the wake of all that Murph did exactly what you said. Right. Took the outside pitch and just hit it to left field where there was nobody playing.
It's a leadoff single, and you got guys behind you in the lineup.
Here's Scherzer, one of the better hitting pitchers, does not have a sacrifice this season, but gets this one down. Matz will go to first with it. First sack of the year for Scherzer, who has 10 hits and 4 RBIs, 5 for 12 with runners in scoring position, but they made him bunt.
So I didn't do a very good job about that, but I
think you did a great job. You just need an editor.
That's exactly, which is usually the case. When it's 3 in a booth, we gotta,
but
gotta elbow in.
It's live TV, Keith. Sometimes there's just nothing you can do. Here's Trey Turner with 2 in scoring position, and he takes ball 1.
I know, which made me more nervous. Their befuddled look on their face.
Turner hits one out to right. Nimmo back a few strides to the edge of the track to get it, and that retires the side.
Maybe you need a new quiet space.
Wasn't very quiet there in this space. Well, Matt straights a pair. Now 33 years old. Fourth year of a 7-year, $210 million contract. Unlike almost every pitcher who's ever signed for that kind of money, it's been worth every penny.
Every penny.
He's a gamer.
Remember, he was offered a big contract by his team at the time, the Detroit Tigers. He turned it down. He bet on himself. He had a huge year and got that big contract for the Nationals.
3-time Cy Young Award winner, including the last 2 years in the National League. Also won one in the American League in 2013 with the Tigers. And it may come down to him and DeGrom this year to see who gets the award in 2018. First pitch slider in for a strike to Wilmer Flores. Wilmer had a terrific series against the Phillies, 5 for 12 with 3 extra base hits, including the walk-off homer, and now facing a guy he's never had a hit against. Fly ball out to right, and Harper is there. 1 out.
152 wins and 80 losses for Max Scherzer. And if you think about how the game has changed, and win is considered by many not a big deal anymore, I still think it's a big deal. You know, a guy like CC Sabathia might not ever get past 200 is going to be the number if you max out a career.
No pun intended. Here's Matt Dendecker, the former National, back with his original team. Second start for Dendecker. Another All-Star appearance this year for Scherzer. Undoubtedly will start the All-Star game, his home ballpark, on Tuesday night.
178 punch-outs already this year.
This is with a changeup, and it's 2-0 to Dendecker.
A toddler in '86.
Yeah. This makes us old.
That's that cutter.
Yeah. Gets him back into account. 2-0. Instead of throwing that fastball, which he can throw 95, 96, just cuts it just a little bit to get under the bat of Dendecker.
And Scherzer is right. He's the closest thing there is to Secretariat. Like a big machine ramping himself up and exploding toward you.
That's right.
With so many different weapons.
I was telling Gary before, and there was a day when I was taught how to pitch. It was, unless you were a strikeout pitcher, 3, maximum 4 pitches you wanted the hitter to put the ball in play. Well, Max is like that, 3 or 4 pitches, but he wants to punch you out on 3 or 4 pitches, and he usually does.
Of course, the flip side of that, and you were saying this, he's had a problem with home run balls the last couple of years, and maybe that's why. There are no waste pitches. 3-2, and the changeup outside, ball 4. So Scherzer issues a 1-out walk to Dendecker.
Well, you see his motion, release angle, broad-chested coming to the plate, 3/4 delivery, head a little kind of tilted and goes down when he releases the ball. Many people in baseball, when he was signed, thought that his mechanics were bad and that he would not last.
He's lasted.
Yeah, they were wrong.
First drafted and signed by the Diamondbacks. First round pick out of the University of Missouri in 2006. And traded on to Detroit.
There's a type that scouts look for, and it always makes them feel comfortable that they're going to last forever. Mark Pryor, who pitched for the Cubs, was always said that he had the perfect body, perfect mechanics. He would pitch forever. Injuries stopped that. Max has been the opposite. Said, boy, his mechanics might hurt him at some point. He's been as durable as any pitcher in the game.
Oh, that is a very strange looking pickoff.
It would be, except that is his usual pickoff move. He doesn't have a good one, so he just launches it over there.
Well, you'd be better off being like Lester and not throwing it at all. But you know, when you talk about mechanics vis-a-vis injury, it goes back to some very wise words that you spoke a couple of years ago. At the end of the day, there is no book. Nobody knows why pitchers get hurt. They keep trying to figure it out. They keep throwing fewer innings, and more pitchers get hurt. 1-1 to Plawecki, who is hitless in his last 8 at bats. There goes Dendecker, and Plawecki fouls it off. Dendecker was looking back like that was a hit and run.
Wow, with Plawecki of all people, who has really been struggling at the plate.
But you understand it from Mickey Callaway's standpoint, right? You're facing Scherzer, you got to make something happen.
Yeah, he's looking back. That's definitely a little hit and run.
So you come into a season knowing what you'd like to do as an offensive team, and then you watch your offensive team and you realize plan B might be in the works.
Team built to hit home runs, the 11th in the league in home runs. They're good at hitting at the end of games lately.
Yeah.
Plawecki strikes out. Second strikeout for Scherzer.
The elevated fastball. The most effective pitch in the game today. Do you agree, Keith?
It's become more so, I think, in today's game. Absolutely.
So now Reyes, who has terrific lifetime numbers against Scherzer. Of course, most of those were at a different point in Jose's career.
So when you watch his motion head on, watch his head and how he pronates his arm. His elbow comes first, and then the ball comes through, and his head dips. His arm lags as much as anyone. Elbow pronates. That's where he gets the whip and that 95-mile-an-hour speed.
Reyes grounds one toward the hole. Murphy lays out to get it, and throwing from a knee gets Reyes to end the inning. That's the best that I've seen Murphy move on a ball since he's come back from the disabled list.
Nice play, Murph.
Murph makes the play on Reyes. Still 2-1. 3 more games in this series tomorrow in SNY, Saturday and Sunday on Picks, then the All-Star break, and then a date in the Bronx a week from tomorrow night.
Ronnie, where are you heading?
I'm going to Cleveland this weekend.
That's right.
The Bombers are taking on the Indians, who've had a very strange season, but it doesn't really matter because they have such a big lead.
8.5 game lead despite being just 9 games over 500. Juan Soto up for the second time, and a base hit the other way his first time up, and with Bautista playing back at third, Soto twice bluffing bunt. Juan Soto might have been here even sooner, but he was hurt almost all of last year. I mean, he played in rookie ball and A ball. He had a broken ankle, he had a broken hamate bone, and he had a hamstring injury, and he only played 32 games.
Well, they've really changed places because it was Victor Robles who was ahead of him, but Robles has been hurt all year, although he's playing rehab games now.
I mean, you talk about hitting the ground running as a 19-year-old. Soto pressed into service with all the injuries the Nats had early this year, particularly to Adam Eaton in their outfield.
When you look at Soto, 19 years old, sees Bautista back, thinking about a bunt, intelligence. His strikeouts and his walks are just about the same.
963 OPS, is that good?
Yeah, that's good, Gary.
For a 19-year-old?
Yeah.
Or anybody?
Good for anybody.
2-2 from Matz, and the fastball fouled off.
Keith, he's got a very level swing. You notice that?
Yeah, he's got a good eye too. I'm watching him as his approach, where his front shoulder is. This is a left-hander here that's pitching very well, and very spread out in the stance, very crouched. And there's the ability there to fight off an up and in fastball, stay in the at bat.
Eighth pitch of the at bat from Matz to Soto, and the curveball misses inside, full count.
Looks like he's got a little smile on his face all the time. I guess when you're hitting 305, why not?
Rendon and Harper to follow, and Soto bounces one down to Flores. 1 out. So Matz wins that battle. Dave Martinez, another first-year skipper.
14 years in Washington, 8 skippers. Had to take over for Dusty Baker, who won the National League East 2 years in a row. See you later.
Chicago Cub, Montreal Expo in his playing days.
Really good hitter.
Very good. Fourth outfielder, fifth outfielder. A great guy off the bench.
Starting right fielder for the Tampa Bay Devil Rays when a young right-hander made his debut, Mickey Callaway.
A man of few words when he played. He hardly ever spoke. And he got me in spring training as a manager. He chewed my ear off one day. I was shocked.
He's a great guy.
He is.
But another first-year manager who's had growing pains.
Yep.
Having to deal with a team that was favored to walk through this division, and it just hasn't worked out that way.
Well, we've seen that happen a lot lately. Matt Williams, Dave Martinez, Brad Osmus with the Tigers when he got that job. Guys that inherit, managers that inherit teams that it's World Series or bust.
Well, I mean, Alex Cora the same, and it worked out okay there.
And Boone.
Yep. And it's clearly not just been the injuries with the Nationals. The fact that Max Scherzer basically had to call a players-only meeting last week when they were going through the depths of their losing streak.
Oh.
Rendon lofts one to deep left. Back goes Conforto near the wall, and Rendon has another one.
Jeez.
Rendon, who hit 3 home runs in a game against the Mets last year, has 2 home runs in the first 3 innings tonight. 15 for the year, and it's 3-1 Washington.
hit a home run his first at bat on a high fastball. This is a curve. And right down the middle, kind of lazy hanging.
Literally a one-handed swing. That really shows, illustrates when you catch the ball out front, how far it can really go. I mean, how good a start do you feel when you're a player and you go 2 for 2 with 2 bombs? Did you ever do that?
No.
Oh.
Hugs.
Fourth career multiple home run game for Rendon. Half of those against the Mets. Harper grounded out to first base his first time up.
Oh, a little tardy on that one. Harper's always had a swing that's very disjointed. And that's the only word I can think of to describe it. You know, whatever works.
Well, it's not working so well. I mean, yeah, he's hitting home runs, he's drawing walks, but this is a guy who had 319 last year, and he's hitting more than 100 points lower this year.
He was having an MVP year until he slipped on first base.
Remember, the Mets handled Harper over the years with the hard throwers on that fastball upstairs and away. Right there.
And another high strike called by Bill Miller. Nimmo got called out on a similar pitch, and now Harper lingering.
Not sure whether he wants to argue or not. He opts for no.
98th time he struck out this year.
You said that Bill Miller is a high ball umpire, RJ. Oh, very nice, right in the corner there.
Another pitch in the corner with the pitch cast.
Is that like a thing?
I wish we had that in my day. Gee.
Here's Mark Reynolds, and he takes a slider low and in.
Hey, I'm just going along with it.
You're just a get along kind of guy.
Well, not really.
Reynolds hit a comebacker his first time up.
Boy, Rendon just loves to play against the Mets.
I've said this before in the broadcast. If they ever do go to the robotic or artificial intelligence or whatever they're going to use for the umpiring, that is the pitch that is going to irritate everyday players more than any. That high fastball that's called a strike.
Reynolds swinging 3-0. Hits a lazy fly ball out to Nimmo. That retires the side, but Rendon's second home run of the night. First one was a bullet for 2 runs. This one a high fly ball for 1. Lots of hugs. 3-1 Washington.
I never
Inside look at the pros and cons of his possible shift to the infield on Mets blog presented by Citi, featured on SNY.TV. Steven Matz leads off and takes a fastball strike from Max Scherzer as we start the bottom of the third. Matz 3 for 29 at the plate this year. And he laces one to left, but right at Soto. 1 out. So Mets blog is answering, is addressing the question. Keith, Cespedes to first. Does it make sense to you?
He's not going to move around that much. Not going to have to chase balls in the outfield.
But I mean, that's supposedly the point, right? To save his legs.
Yes.
Is it the case that a first baseman saves his legs compared to an outfielder with all the bending and crouching that you do?
I don't think it's so much the endurance part of the difference between the two positions, Gary. I think it's sometimes you got to burst out in the outfield and chase a ball down. A blooper, you got to come in and dive. Ball, you got to go back on. You got to cut a ball off in the outfield. You got to run into the gap. That's where you're going to hurt it again. On first base, you've got a quarter of that infield as compared to a third of the outfield. So that's where I think it comes into play.
I mean, it depends on what kind of first baseman he tries to turn himself into.
Well,
I mean, he's a Gold Glove fielder.
It just could be, you know, a negative defensively at first base. I mean, can't expect, you know, Gold Glove caliber. He did play a little first base evidently in Cuba, so.
Well, he has the athleticism, right? And if he puts the work in, he should be able to turn himself into a pretty decent first baseman.
Searching for ways to keep him in the lineup and not these extended stints on the disabled list. It just really puts the club in a tough spot.
59. Did you say 58 days yesterday? 59 days.
What was that song? 30 days in the hole. Oh.
Well, the latest on Cespedes is that he is running the bases. First time. He had been running just straight lines. Day by day. And golfs one foul.
So far, Max does not have his A slider. He's hung it a couple times. Even the Mats there who flew out to left field. That was a hanger to Brandon Nimmo, who missed it. So like a great pitcher, it behooves you to try to get him early.
Full count to Nimmo with Cabrera on deck.
And usually when Scherzer's at his best, got a 2-run lead, he'll throw it as hard as he can down the middle. Just try to throw it right by Nimmo.
Grounded to the right side. Murphy on the backhand. 2 out.
Another reason I think he gives up home runs, I think he pitches to the score also at times. You know, if he doesn't have a shutout or one of those special games going.
You know, it's interesting you say that because somebody asked Mickey Callaway today about Jacob deGrom and his season and the fact that he's clearly taken his game to a new level. And Mickey said, I think the fact that we've scored so few runs for him has induced him to have better numbers because he's always in a 0-0 game.
That's a good point.
It is a good point.
Yeah, he's always been a guy that pitches in tough situations. He rises to the occasion. He elevates his game, and certainly every start, just about every inning, he's had to really. He's pitching in a tough ball game.
Never thought of that. That's a good way to think about it.
Well, I mean, when you say pitch to the score, right, it goes both ways, right? If you have a lead, you pitch differently than if you don't.
And also, he's gotten into the point, because it's historic, that not only does he not have runs, but it probably feels like they're not coming either.
Well, I mean, to your point about Scherzer, his last start against the Marlins, he gave up 3 home runs.
But they had a big lead.
They scored 18 runs.
That's right. Well,
I mean, that was part of the debate when Jack Morris was on the ballot for the Hall of Fame all those years, because his ERA was a little higher than
other pitchers of his generation.
Right. And the case was made for Jack that he pitched to the score. And so, as someone who pitched, is that a thing?
Absolutely. It's your choice of pitches. Now, I'm not saying that always happens today, because I don't think it does. But if you were at a 3-1 count in a 5-1 game in the 7th inning, you did not lollygag and throw a breaking pitch. You went after him with your good hard stuff and hoped your fielders made a play.
Scherzer throws a fastball by Cabrera. 3rd strikeout for Max. Murphy's showing off the defense tonight. 3-1 Nats after 3. Daniel Murphy leads off the 4th inning. Murph hit a base hit between Bautista and the 3rd base bag his first time up. Well, it's been a huge slap in the Mets' face since the day Murph left. He has just strafed his old team.
I tell you what, I was mentioning in the break, if Murph's got the bulky knees and he is not moving well, although he's made a couple nice plays in the field, I'm not pitching him away where he can get a base hit to left field. I'm pounding him in and really make him work inside, be quick with his hands.
Tommy rolled over on the changeup. And Cabrera throws him out, 1 away.
I wonder if it's playing against the Mets. I was watching him run down first. He's moving all right.
Yeah.
Huh?
Well, he had a day off yesterday.
Yeah.
You just wonder over the long haul, you know,
every day.
It's just the wear and tear. Boy, back in the 80s, he'd be what if he was in the National League East in the 80s? How many games would he be playing on turf?
Here's Taylor lining one to center field, and he's got 1 out hit. Hit number 6 against Matz, who has not been as sharp as he's been lately.
Change up, first pitch. It's quite a reaction. That was way over his head.
Means he probably didn't see it.
He didn't see it come off the bat. That's what it was, Gary. Good call.
Here's Matt Wieters, who had a base hit his first time up. Wieters playing just his third game since coming back from 2 months on the sidelines following hamstring surgery.
You know, a young catcher that we really liked early in the year, Severino, was having such a difficult time. Some people say Wieters came back a little early because they needed him to be out there, a little veteran presence and leadership.
And they sent Severino down when Wieters returned. Kept Spencer Keyboom as their backup catcher.
Great name. I think there's a couple of Keybooms.
Yes.
In Major League Baseball, professional baseball.
They get your attention. It's not like Smith. There goes Taylor. Throw by Plawecki, a good one, but too late. Taylor has his 24th stolen base of the year. That leads the National League.
Alan Porter right over this second base, got it covered.
Slid his hand right into his helmet. '20th steal given up by Matz this year in 22 tries.
Thought Taylor had made a turned the light bulb on last year. He had a great season, but back to a lot of strikeouts and 240 average.
Well, he has changed the script as far as his results when runners get on base against him, hasn't he? Matz, who used to let innings blow up on him, has done just the opposite this year. Curveball hit out to center field. Dendecker chased back a few strides. Tagging at second is Taylor, and he'll take third. 2 out.
You said Dendecker had a nice game yesterday. You know, if I was Steven Matz when this season is done and he has a solid, healthy season, knock on wood, I would spend a lot of time looking at some of the great moves to first base, left-handed pitching, and try to see which one might fit my game to stop those runners from getting in scoring position on stolen bases.
Scherzer.
I wonder which eye is his dominant eye. Just ask him the question. Usually when a hitter faces the pitcher full frontal like that.
He lines one to left center field, cutting across. Dendecker sliding to make the catch, and that retires the side. Dendecker continues to look smooth out in center field.
Well, so important to have defense and be strong up the middle. Catcher, middle infielders, center fielder to have a winning combination.
The Polo Grounds came to life once more. Familiar old faces showed up in new uniform, the uniform of the Mets, the baby of the expanded National League. Here was a baby the fans fell in love with at first sight. Sure, a somewhat awkward baby, but a baby destined to be adopted by over 1 million somewhat sentimental fans who wanted a baby for their very own.
Lindsey Nelson sounds so subdued.
Yeah, he did. I love the third base coach with the hold on, and then when he was running past it, he went, okay, go ahead.
How about the wide turn?
I know. Oh, you don't lose 120 without trying.
Oh, man.
Well, that's what Casey said. Can anybody here play this game?
Can you imagine?
Jose Bautista leads off in the home fourth against Max Scherzer. Bautista has the RBI for the Mets. A single to center in the first.
Well, one, oh, geez, 2 circles.
Aren't
there.
they? No, those aren't the mounds.
Well, the
Remember
first one's a fungo circle.
That's right.
I don't know what the second one is.
It's a helicopter. That's a heliport.
Bautista drives one deep in the gap toward the wall. It's out of here. Jose Bautista with his 7th home run of the year. And the Mets are back to within a run. It's 3-2.
The same pitch he hit for the single that drove in the run, drove in Cabrera, hanging slider from Scherzer.
We mentioned his outstanding numbers against Scherzer coming into the night. He's now 11 for 22 with a couple of home runs against one of the best pitchers in the game.
Scherzer slider. He's hung around 3 or 4 of them already. This is the first one that hurt him.
Got the beard too.
Better get another cold one, buddy.
We'll get the bill.
Should get a freebie. Well, here's the hanger. Oh boy.
Center cut.
USDA.
Choice. Line toward the middle, and Conforto's going to base hit. That's how you beat the shift. That Mets home run means City will donate enough for No Kid Hunger to provide 20,000 meals to kids in need. So the tying run aboard, and now Wilmer Flores. Wilmer flied out to right his first time up. So Scherzer proving to be quite human so far tonight. And his defense betray him in the first inning. That cost him a run. Now Bautista has taken him deep.
Max has not been as good as he usually is his last couple of starts coming into this game. 13 innings pitched, 7 runs.
And the strikeouts noticeably down. He's already had 10 double-digit strikeout games this year. His last start, he struck out 3 in 7 innings. In the air to left, playable for Soto. And that's the first out of the inning. Here's City probables for the remainder of the series. Noah Syndergaard makes his return to the mound tomorrow night against Tanner Roark. Zach Wheeler goes Saturday. Corey Oswalt Sunday.
And then the All-Star break.
Well, at least you'll be able to hang out in your quiet place.
That's true. Haji.
Here's Den Decker, who walked his first time up, and he foul tips the fastball. Talking about Scherzer and strikeouts. Early this year, he was striking out the world. I mean, he's got 177 and 127 and 2/3 innings coming in, so it's not like he's hit rock bottom, but the strikeout rate is a little bit down recently. But he had a game earlier this year, the likes of which nobody else had ever had. He faced the Phillies. He worked 6 1/3 innings, which means he got 19 outs, and he struck out 15. That had never been done before. That many strikeouts in that few innings.
He's erratic with his fastball tonight. He's thrown a couple at 94. He's not on his A game tonight right now. He's had a little trouble with that slider, that cutter.
Decker pops one up, and Turner reels it in. 2 out. Well, this was 2015, final weekend of the season, and Scherzer was untouchable. His second no-hitter of the season and of his career.
Seventeen punch outs. Ryan, 73, that would make him an Angel, right?
Yes, indeed. Certainly not a Met. He was traded after the 1970 season. No, 71 season. Right. So he was an Angel in 72. Ryan and 3 others to the Angels for Jim Fregoso.
Now tell me, what was the reasoning, Gary? You were around. Was Ryan just wild as a March hare?
Yeah, he couldn't harness his stuff. They felt as though he would never develop the control to be an effective pitcher. And the thing about it is, his first few years with the Angels, he was walking 8, 9 guys a game, but they were willing to live with it. The Mets weren't. And then he finally figured it out.
Remember when you'd watch some of those day games in Anaheim, when he pitched, he would wear eye black. He was the first pitcher I had ever seen who wore eye black. Can you imagine throwing 100 miles an hour from a pitcher who had eye black on?
He was a little intimidating.
He didn't need any help.
1-1 to Plawecki.
You know, the audio for games certainly isn't what we have today. And I didn't know till I played against Nolan how loud he grunted when he threw his pitches. I mean, you could hear it throughout the stadium.
That's why he needed all that Advil. I mean, he had dominant games as a Met. There was one game he pitched against the Phillies. He gave up a leadoff hit to Denny Doyle.
Yeah.
And then retired like 27 in a row.
Yeah, well, he led the American League in Ks and walks his first 6 of 7 years in California with the Angels.
That's amazing, right?
Yep. Workhorse.
It's a lot of pitches. No pitch count.
But he didn't last very long.
Only 25 years. Or was it 26?
Well, I remember late in his career, before he went out of when he was with the Astros, he got him in spring training.
Oh,
there you go. Now there's looking down the barrel of a gun.
Is that like Tom Gorman?
Mr. Gorman. He started throwing that changeup, and it made him a better pitcher. If he'd have had a changeup in his prime, oh my word!
It was the eye black.
2-2 to Plawecki, and it's fouled off.
Oh, I missed that. You're right, Ron.
Scherzer could wear eye black. That'll give him a third eye color.
And then you had Ryan Dern with the Coke bottle glasses, and you had Bob Veal with the black glasses, black framed 60s glasses for the Pirates.
Bob Veal was a big dude.
Oh my gosh.
Conforto at first and 2 out, and Plawecki bloops one to shallow center, and Turner goes back to get it. And that retires the side. Leadoff home run by Bautista gets the Mets back within a run, 3-2 after 4. On the go on any device with live streaming presented by Verizon. Just visit SNY.TV or download the NBC Sports app today for live streaming coverage of every SNY Mets game. Here's our cameraman Matt with his very adorable family.
Nice.
Cute.
Third time around the batting order for Steven Matz. Trey Turner is grounded out and flied out 0 for 2.
This is a very important inning. Your team has gotten you back in it. The Bautista home run, top of the order. This is an inning you got to have if you're a pitcher.
Rendon up third in the inning. Already 2 home runs deep into his night. It's been the only damage against Matz, who has continued to strand runners in scoring position. And a knee-high fastball for a strike to a disappointed Turner, 2-2.
Well, Turner's like, okay, you're calling the high pitch, and now you're going to call the low pitch, one or the other.
Not necessarily.
I'm just saying that's what he's saying. I'm not saying it's the correct thing. Good for Steven.
Line to right, and Nimmo is there. 1 out. And now a quick word from your Tri-State Porsche dealers.
Keith, we got Nimmo a Porsche spot.
That's pretty good.
Very nice.
Certainly
Wow.
graduated quickly from you guys.
The only way to go is up from us.
Was that about being relevant?
He's relevant now.
Yeah, right. No photos.
Soto hits one past Matson into center field, a base hit. So Juan Soto has his second hit of the night in his first ever game against the Mets.
Tough left-hander, 2 hits, staying in. Fastball down the pipe.
Ooh.
Oh, between the wickets.
So that pushes Soto's OPS over 960.
Stayed level on that high ball.
Last teenager to finish with an OPS over 920, Mel Ott, 1928.
Oh,
New York
boy.
Giants. That's the kind of company that Juan Soto is keeping right now.
Ott was shorter than Soto, right?
Yep.
Small guy.
Big leg kick. Well, Rendon having one of those nights. Of course, he's not facing Plawecki yet. That's how he got his third home run last year against the Mets. Grounds that one toward the hole. On the backhand, Reyes. Short hop and a nice pick by Cabrera to get the force. Boy, he has solid hands.
Solid hands. He also knew the play, so he made himself into a first baseman instead of trying to maybe turn it.
No way to turn two with Rendon, who runs well. And then once the ball's in the dirt, you can forget about even thinking about turning two. You just got to make the play. Well done.
And Matz is just happy that Rendon didn't hit the ball in the air. So now Harper with 2 out and a runner at first. Bryce is 0 for 2 tonight. Grounded out, struck out. I know this is impossible to know, but how much do you think the pressure of impending free agency is weighing on Harper and contributes to what we're seeing? We'll talk about that next inning as Flores handles the one hopper, and Harper's now 0 for 3. Never left the batter's box. Halfway through, 3-2 Nats. Of New Jersey. Bautista's driven in both Met runs. Rendon's driven in all 3 Nats runs. Home 5th inning. Jose Reyes leads off and goes after a first pitch fastball from Scherzer. That's a beauty of a sunset shaping up. Matz and Nimmo to follow for the Mets against Scherzer. Anyway, we were talking about Harper and batting average down 100 points. Power numbers are okay. Walks continue to grow, but clearly frustrated. You can just see that in his body language, and you have to wonder how much looking ahead to what comes next for him is weighing on what's happening now. Charging Murphy, the backhand flip in time to get Reyes. Another nice play by Murph, 1 out.
I think the more pressure, Gary, is when you get the big contract and you go to a new venue and you got a long-term deal and it's a new fan base. I think that's far more pressure packed.
Do you ever think, as I don't know, it's just so hard. Gary mentioned the numbers. What, 319 last year, 100 points lower. I mean, do you ever say to yourself, boy, this is a big year, but if I err and if I'm not get off to a great start average wise, I'm just going to go for the home runs? I guess you don't think like that, right?
I wouldn't think so. I would think you'd want to have the best year you can have.
and maybe there's more pressure on him than his counterpart up the Beltway, because he's playing on a team that is going nowhere, and this team is struggling to be where they're supposed to be.
Well, the other thing is Machado knows he's going to be traded in the next 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Harper's not going anywhere. This is a team that, despite all the problems they've had and the .500 record right now, they expect to win the division and be back in the postseason. And frankly, the best thing that Harper can do to enhance his value, if his value needs enhancing, is to go have a good postseason and get his team over the hump and into the league championship series for the first time.
Also, there's 70+ games left in the season. Have a great second half and lead your team to the division flag, to the postseason.
Have a Yastrzemski type September.
Don't make that manager so gray.
Well, the postseason has been a disaster for the Nationals since they first made it 6 years ago. I mean, not just losing those series, but losing in excruciating fashion in Game 5 in 2012, in excruciating fashion last year against the Cubs.
I mean, they had Max on the mound with a lead in relief.
Yep. And then they had that bizarre inning.
5th inning, I believe, right?
Passed balls and
catcher's interference.
Catcher interference. 1-2 coming, and Nimmo goes down on the fastball and on his hands. Strikeout number 4 for Scherzer. Low number for him in 5 innings, but he's got the lead 3-2 as we go to the 6th. Sixth inning, Steven Matz faces Mark Reynolds, who's hit a comebacker and flied out 0 for 2. When this stadium was young and the dimensions were much roomier, Mark Reynolds made it look small.
Yes, he did. 2 impressive bombs.
Came here with the Diamondbacks and hit one into the second deck way over in left center field.
I know exactly where it is, like 5 rows up.
I think even more to the right.
Further to the right. Keep going.
Keep going.
Like up from the Verizon side up into the second deck.
Yes, and it was a line drive, folks.
I mean, he has some big time power.
Yep.
And then you put him in Coors Field last year as a guy who was supposed to be a part-time player, wound up playing almost every day at first base, and he had 30 home runs, drove in 97 runs. 1-2 coming, and he struck him out with a changeup. Only the 3rd strikeout for Matz's night. Let's check in with Justine Ford in the studio for a game break brought to you by your Tri Honda dealers.
Oh.
Nick Pivetta started that game really well for the Phillies. He's been struggling lately.
It's like the bullpen is giving it up a little bit for the Phils.
Actually, last I looked, I think Pivetta's still in the game.
Oh.
Daniel Murphy 1 for 2.
Were they always called the Fightin' Phils, Garrett, or was that just more recent history?
Recent formulation. I used to love the old Philly uniforms where they had the huge numbers on the back.
The big ones,
oversized numbers.
And they were a different style.
Shade.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, they went from the cherry red to the maroon,
yep,
and then back again. 2-2 to Murph, and it's just off the plate. Full count.
It's like calligraphy numbers, right, Keith? That kind of number?
Yeah, it was a very unique style.
Almost cartoonish.
I remember when they had the big numbers. Yes. Of all the National League teams growing up, they were my least favorite in the National League. They weren't that good a team.
They weren't very good.
Right. And
front runner.
Robin Roberts was on his way out when I was getting interested in.
That's ball 4, and Murph's on for the second time tonight. First walk given up by Matz. Well, between winning the pennant in 1950 and then competing, you know, to the final days in '64,
right,
that would have been when you first encountered them.
And that was the Cardinals, and that was my team, so I was very, very pleased with that Cardinal comeback and win that and win the National League. Pirates were always a very interesting team to watch. And the Braves, of course, they had the Mashers.
Milwaukee Braves.
Yes, Milwaukee Braves. And Cincinnati was a good, fun team to watch with that Vada Pinson, Tommy Harper, and Frank Robinson in the outfield.
Michael Taylor fouls it off, and it's 0-2. Taylor had a base hit to center, stole a base in the 4th, had a rough defensive inning back in the 1st, which cost Scherzer a run. Murphy a very short lead at first.
Never liked the catcher, and Gary Carter used to never do it. When he called the fastball up, he would never stand up. It's like, you're a pitcher here in the major leagues. You know how to throw it upstairs.
Breaking ball hit out to center, and Dendecker comes on to get it 2 out.
Just feel like you were giving it away to the hitter, you know.
Well, and you see it more and more now. The gesturing, right? You'll catcher call fastball, then he'll use his glove and lift up, or call curveball and he'll slap the ground with his glove.
You don't want to give it away too quick.
I don't mind it, putting the one down and just with your hand up. Okay, great. You don't have to show me after that. I'm just going to throw something above your helmet, the catcher's helmet.
I mean, with all the eyes that are watching now, it's so much easier for people to see that stuff and you know, steal those indicators if they're so inclined.
Well, catchers now, because of how much tape they watch, the video they watch, sorry, they'll have tells that they'll be able to figure out.
Well, they got iPads in the dugout.
Yeah,
correct. And I don't think that should be allowed. I just do not. I feel strongly about that. Oh.
Well, I think what the iPads in the dugout have done is it's de-emphasized players actually watching with their with their eyes in real time what's happening in the game at hand.
And how many times have we seen? Oh, there's ball 4 again. This is second walk in the inning.
A 4-pitch walk to Wieters, puts 2 men on and brings Scherzer up.
And Scherzer came into the game hitting .244, so he's no slouch with the bat in his hand.
He's one of those pitchers like Wainwright and others. They feel like they're one of the athletes when they're on the field, and they act accordingly when it's their at bat.
Well, he came up in a 2-out RBI situation his last time up and lined one to left center, and Dendecker had to make a sliding catch to keep a run off the board. Sacrificed his first time up. curveball in for a strike. Murphy at second. Outfield fairly shallow against Scherzer. It would be interesting to see whether Murph would have the wherewithal to score from second on the base hit.
Bob Henley, the third base coach, has got a lot of responsibility with Daniel on second.
Comebacker, but it goes past Matz, fielded by Bautista, double clutched and lost the play. Scherzer beats it out for an infield hit. Bautista playing third base tonight, got to it nicely. If he got rid of it on the first effort, probably would have gotten him, but the double clutch killed him.
And good hustle out of the box by Scherzer. And Bautista does everything right as far as cutting the ball off, but just can't get the exchange. Good hustle, Scherzer.
11th hit of the year for Scherzer, loads the bases with 2 out, and now Trey Turner. And a good curveball to start him off. So
he busted out of that box. There's no question about that. Got himself a base hit, a chance to get a 2-out base hit here.
Nope. And Turner pops one up on the infield. Who wants it? Flores and Bautista, and it'll be Wilmer with the bigger glove taking care of it to end the inning. And Matz gets out of a jam again. Leads them loaded in the 6th, still 3-2. Sloan Kettering Cancer Center. Jose Bautista is driven in the 2 Met runs with a single and a home run. Mets only have 2 other hits against Max Scherzer, who has himself a 3-2 lead as we go to the bottom of the 6th. Mets will have Cabrera, Bautista, and Conforto coming up. Game 2 of this series tomorrow night. It marks the return to the mound of Noah Syndergaard after 6 weeks on the sidelines. Syndergaard against Tanner Roark. Our coverage begins at 6:30 tomorrow night right here on SNY.
Oh, is he through Sunday in Brooklyn, Wednesday a bullpen, and then pitching tomorrow night? Okay.
Scherzer had his most impressive inning in the 5th, setting the Mets down 1-2-3 on 8 pitches. Third time around the batting order, Cabrera had a pop fly double and scored a run in the 1st, struck out in the 3rd. And thinking about a bunt, even though Rendon was fairly close at 3rd.
The better to count to bunt on is with 1 strike, because they back up 5 or 6 steps.
Which I don't understand. If you're going to play the bunt with no strikes,
Right.
why wouldn't you play with 1 strike?
Agreed.
Although maybe it's just the case that teams feel that opposing hitters will give up their first strike, but they're not going to give up their second.
Right.
I think that's the case.
But you know, if you're playing back and they're giving you the hit,
It's just
take it.
Down by a run.
It's not part of the game today.
It better become part of the game. Otherwise, they'll be shifting forever.
Unless they
ban it.
legalize it.
Yeah, right. Oh, barely.
He's got a piece of that cutter.
Yeah, good one too. Just stayed in that at bat. Scherzer's been getting Cabrera up out of the strike zone upstairs tonight. That high fastball.
Grounded into the shift, and Turner moves to his left, and that's a 6-3 putout. 7 in a row retired by Scherzer. Statcast powered by Amazon Web Services. This is the Bautista home run. So Bautista is now 11 for 22 against Scherzer. That's the best batting average of any player with at least 10 at-bats against Scherzer. Second on that list is Martin Prado, who is hitting .457 against Scherzer.
Big cut.
That's a large swing. So Tim Peterson up in the bullpen matches at 95 pitches through 6 innings.
All-star break looming. Right?
Well, we said it last night with DeGrom, and they gave him the extra inning. That's hit well to center field. Taylor going back, way back, and over the shoulder. He makes the grab. So Bautista, with more solid contact against Scherzer, retired for the first time tonight.
That makes up for one of his miscues early in the game.
So 2 out and nobody on. Now Conforto was the last Mets base runner. He poked a single to the left of second base. And they're going to give him the bunt on the first pitch. Base hit for Conforto snapped an 0 for 13 stretch. Let's check in with Steve Gelbs, who's at the Porsche Grill.
Yes, Gary, I am. I had a chance to chat with Michael Conforto today. A nice chat about just how difficult and frustrating this first half has been for him. And I thought he gave some nice insight into just what he's been feeling throughout the first half of this season. He wasn't making any excuses, but Conforto said that in his mind, the offseason and spring training is really where you get your base as a hitter and as a player. He really didn't have any of that. As he flies out to end the inning. So he's felt like he's had to try and get that base at the big league level. The difference is, though, that results matter at the big league level. And so oftentimes he's felt like he's tweaked when he wasn't getting those results and hasn't had the ability to get that base. So he's been chasing it a little bit and feels like this is something that still has to come in the second half.
All right, Steve. 1-2-3 inning for Scherzer after 6, 3-2 Washington. Only 4 strikeouts in 6 innings, but Scherzer has himself a 3-2 lead as we go to the 7th. Steven Matz still out there. Throws a first pitch changeup out of the strike zone to Juan Soto. That's getting their first look at the 19-year-old phenom, who's 2 for 3 tonight. Single to left, single to center.
Each at bat has got better for Juan. First at bat off Matz. Never seen him before. Kind of inside out at a base hit, the soft liner to left. Had a really good at bat in the 3rd, which was a grounder to first, and then got a solid single up the middle. So he stays in on left-hander. That's a good sign.
Rendon on deck. Jerry Blevins gets up in the Mets bullpen with Harper 2 batters away. And the curveball gets him looking. So Matt strikes out Soto, 4th of the night for Steven, and that'll be the last pitch he throws. Mickey Callaway on his way out. Tim Peterson coming in to face Rendon, and then probably Blevins to face Harper. 100 pitches for Matz. He'll leave down by a run. Trying to talk his way in. Nope.
It's the right move.
What?
Well, Rendon has 2 home runs off him.
It can be a Larry in the morning.
I know that. But
let me stay in, Skip.
Call to the bullpen brought to you by Verizon. Matt's out, Peterson in. We'll be right back to Citi Field. Anthony Rendon already has 2 home runs tonight. He's accounted for all 3 Nationals runs. Now he'll swing against the right-hander Tim Peterson.
Well, Peterson pitched 3 days ago. See his numbers so far. He has not been as solid as he was in the beginning when he first was brought up.
He wound up the winning pitcher when Flores hit the walk-off home run against the Phillies in Game 1 of the doubleheader Monday. He had to work around trouble. First 2 hitters got aboard, but he was able to negotiate his way through that inning. The fastball by Peterson snuck up on him, and it's 0-2. Well, this is Rendon with 2 strikes, one of the best 2-strike hitters in the game.
He certainly is, and you know, to me, you can put all these statistics in front. He goes the other way. He drives the ball the other way into the other gap, and that makes him a good 2-strike hitter. He's able to wait longer.
He did.
Altuve.
He did pull a home run with 2 strikes earlier in the game.
He hits the ball from gap to gap. He's good, he's really a good hitter.
You know, he's probably not our best example, though, because when we think of guys who don't have a good 2-strike approach, it's more of the slugger with the big swinger, the guy who with 2 strikes doesn't cut down and still wants to hit the ball 500 feet. Rendon from pitch 1 has a short stroke that works with no strikes or 2 strikes, and evidenced by his home runs. Not a big cut, but 2 home runs in a game.
Ground ball toward the middle. Cabrera to his right. The off balance toss, safe. Close play at first. Beautifully executed by Cabrera, and a nice pick by Flores, and Rendon just beat it if he did.
Very nice play. Throw the long hop to the first baseman. Oh, actually, that was a short hop. Nice play by Wilmer. Look at Wilmer work it. Nicely done.
Ooh, that's really close. Really close. Ball has to hit the interior of the mitt.
Okay, we're going to see it again.
Before the foot hits the bag, and it was close to simultaneous. Mets are going to challenge it.
Ooh, that is close.
That is really close.
Nice pick by Wilmer. Nice stretch, too. Look at that.
I said it before. If it's bang, bang, then you keep the call. But I'm wrong more than half the time now.
The ball.
He might be out.
He might be out. Is right.
I mean, they overturned the call at second base earlier in the game, for which there did not appear to be enough evidence. We'll see whether this one gets overturned as well. That one went in the Nats' favor as they won their challenge. Call was made at first base by the rookie umpire John Libka.
Here we go.
Oh, and they do not overturn the call.
Okay, I have no issue with that.
So it's another 2-strike hit for Rendon.
And a 3-for-4 night.
And of course, the most important thing about getting hits with 2 strikes is not striking out.
Yeah.
Right? Got to put the ball in play to be a good 2-strike hitter. So Tim Peterson gives up an infield hit. He'll exit. Blevins will come in to face Harper in just a moment.
Well, interesting. Jerry has not always been used in these circumstances, but boy, over the course of his career, he's had a lot against Bryce Harper.
Well, we were talking about 2-strike approach in relation to Anthony Rendon, Keith, and
yeah.
What was your approach with 2 strikes?
My approach was the same against a left-hander as a right-hander. You had to keep that shoulder in, and you were driving right at the pitcher, and you're going here, and it's gap to gap and up the middle. And you're more vulnerable inside when you have 2 strikes. And if a pitcher makes a nasty pitch inside and ties you up, okay, he's made the pitch. But if he comes outside, you got that covered. And the most important thing, I think, the most important quote was when Albert Pujols in his prime, he said he asked Stan Musial, what was the key to two-strike hitting, and Stan Musial said, know the strike zone.
Well, let me ask you this. As Harper takes ball 1, how does that differ from your approach earlier in the at-bat? How does that change? How did it change for you, who were not a guy who was trying to, get the ball out of the ballpark?
Well, there were times I was looking to lift and looking to pull, Gare. When you start a game against a pitcher,
Harper unloads to deep right field. And that ball sails out of here. A 2-run homer for Harper, greeting Jerry Blevins. 23rd of the year for Harper, ties him for the National League lead. 3rd home run of the night for the Nats, makes it 5-2.
It's been that kind of year for Harper. All or nothing.
And it's been that kind of year for Blevins.
And this is just a no-doubter here. Let's see the pitch. Oh, fastball right down the pipe and down in his zone. Right where he likes it.
Well, we knew right away in the booth, so certainly he did also.
4th home run Jerry's allowed in just 22 innings this year. And the 2nd one he's allowed to Harper. Now Mark Reynolds lifts one to left. This one will stay in the ballpark. Conforto grabs it 2 out.
Oh boy. He's not even going to look. He knows.
You get to a certain point as a veteran that you know by the swing and the sound where that ball's going.
Blevins went to the home plate umpire after
I think he had
that.
an issue with the call on the first pitch. That's what he was discussing, which is unusual. You usually don't do that.
Here's Murphy, a single and a walk tonight.
Can I add one other point here to the two-strike hitting? From what Musial told Pujols about knowledge of the strike zone. A rare quote from Steve Carlton. Not when he played. He did not talk to the press. I saw him in Philadelphia when they had a old timers day and ran into him. He talked to me about how he tried to expand the strike zone with 2 strikes on the hitter. So when you have a good knowledge of the strike zone, you don't allow the pitcher to expand the strike zone. It's critical. Was that a little more concise?
That was really good. Really good stuff.
It just took me around 6 innings to warm up.
I just wasn't sure you were done. Ball 4, and Murphy is aboard. 3rd time tonight.
Who was that masked man?
We have visitors.
Yes,
People
we do.
walk in here all the time. We don't know who they are.
Well, we know who this guy is.
I'll take a hot dog, ketchup, mustard, and a Diet Coke.
Oh,
Watch out, Keith. He's taking notes.
that's right.
Here's Taylor. And he takes the curveball for a strike from Blevins.
That's Devin from the New York Times, who's just here to kind of check out our act. It gets tired after a while, Devin, so don't hang around too long.
He's back tomorrow for more punishment.
Oh, you can only polish it so much, you know. Good fastball by Blevins, and it's 0-2 to Taylor, who's 1 for 3 tonight. Jerry's season went off the rails early, and he's never really gotten it back on, especially against the left-hand hitters. And this inning is emblematic of that, right?
Yeah, every time he gets one step up, he takes 2 or 3 back. Never can get any 2, 3, 4 good outings in a row.
Well, the question I would have is, if you are from the outside looking in, if you're another organization, and you're looking at the Mets trade pieces, and Blevins obviously could be one of those with an expiring contract, do you see enough to offer anything of substance to try and get at Jerry Blevins to shore up your lefty bullpen?
It was Jacob Ram in the bullpen. I don't think you've seen anything but what you would count on as a veteran. Maybe a new uniform might get him inspired. Not inspired. Inspired is the wrong word. Jerry's always inspired. Might just get him a new lease on life, which he probably needs.
And he continues to dominate right-hand hitters. That's the irony of the whole thing. So he gets the righties out, but not the lefties, and it's 5-2 Washington. Sox going for 10 in a row tonight.
You were talking about trade pieces. That was off Jay Happ at Grand Slam.
He wasn't very good his last time out either.
No.
Pop up into shallow right center. Who's going to get it? Harper angling with Taylor, and this time Taylor gets there to make the catch. So 1 pitch and 1 out for Scherzer in the home 7th.
He made sure of this one, didn't he?
Murph's doing a lot of pointing, but it's somebody else's ball.
Well, he was yelling, I got it, I got it.
He busted from the get-go, too.
I'm sure he heard about it after the one fell in early in the game. 10 in a row now retired by Scherzer. Here's Matt Dendecker, who's walked and popped up.
Our old teammate and buddy Kevin Mitchell just checked in from San Diego to say hello to us. He's watching.
Popped up. And Turner grabs it. 2 out. SNY Super Slow Motion is brought to you by your Mercedes-Benz Tri-State dealers. Mercedes-Benz, the best or nothing. Harper deep.
Yeah, he knew he got it.
The Nats, since this ballpark opened in 2009, have now hit 111 home runs at Citi Field. This is since 2011.
Okay.
91 home runs in 71 games. 51 and 20 in the enemy ballpark. Wecky hits one off the fists, a foul ball. So the Nats have hit more home runs here than they have in any other visiting ballpark since Citi Field opened. They've hit 111 here, 110 in Philly. You certainly don't think of Citi Field as being the home run haven that Philadelphia is. And they haven't hit more than 63 in any other ballpark. Wow. So 111 here, 110 in Philly, no more than 63 anywhere else. Now, I guess that's skewed a little bit since the Braves and Marlins have both played in 2 different ballparks in that period of time. 1-2 to Plawecki. And the slider off the plate, 2-2. Well, Scherzer looked a little shaky early in this game, but he's now settled in to retire 11 in a row, and now he's got a 3-run lead to work with. See how that pitch count has diminished as the night's gone along.
Well, that's gotten him here where he's looking for at least 4 more outs. This one and 3 more in the 8th.
Plawecki cracks one to deep left field, headed toward the corner. It's out of here. Kevin Plawecki with his 2nd home run of the year. The Mets' 2nd home run off Scherzer tonight.
Oh, not so soon.
And now it's 5-3 Washington. Now that Harper home run looms even larger.
Yes, it does. This hasn't been Scherzer's A-game night. He hangs another slider here, Ron.
Well, 3 home runs given up in his last start, 2 more tonight, but his team's has been hitting the baseball and scoring.
That was a line drive bullet.
One to Reyes.
It's 2 home runs on hanging sliders of Max, Bautista, and Plawecki.
Tom Smith is out on deck to pinch hit if Reyes keeps the inning going. 91 pitches now for Scherzer. No action in the Nats bullpen. And Jose bangs one off his leg, a foul ball. 2-2.
When you get a hanging breaking ball, it loses velocity. You usually get the barrel out. And look at the contact in front of home plate.
Snapped an 0-for-10 stretch for Plawecki. Coming to Reyes, and it's up and away, full count. Dom Smith on deck. Three-two. It's fouled off the left side. Rendon hoping to get there, sliding, and it just eludes him off the advertising panel. That got a little dangerous at the end for Rendon.
It sure did.
You jam your ankle into that sign, but he looks none the worse for wear. Watch that left ankle.
Nice hustle by the ump over there, the 3rd base ump.
Oh, Karam almost got him in the face.
Good product placement. Reyes hooks one foul. Steven Matz, another quality start tonight. 6 in the 3rd, gave up 3 runs. Bullpen failed behind him. 3-2 again, and he walked him. And the Mets will get the tying run to the plate. Dom Smith coming up to pinch hit. So an unexpected turn of events here after 2 out and nobody on. The Plawecki home run, and now an 8-pitch walk for Reyes.
Mad at himself.
Just off. He's just off tonight.
Just his 2nd walk of the night. And Derek Lilliquist, the Nats pitching coach, will head out to talk to Max.
Lilliquist has been the pitching coach before this year in St. Louis. He came here, and Mike Maddox went to St. Louis.
Good left-hand pitcher in his time. Hell of a hitter.
Hell of a hitter. We always laugh at that, folks, because Littlequist in a game at Shea Stadium hit 2 home runs off me in a game towards the end of my Mets tenure.
Oh, it's time to hang him up.
It's so true. I just didn't know it.
Max still shaking his head after his pitching coach takes his exit. So Dom Smith with a chance to do some damage. Dom was 0 for 4 last night. He's 1 for his last 21. Tying run at the plate in a 5-3 game. And he bounces one foul. Phillies held on to beat the Orioles 5-4. So for the moment they're a half game up in the NL East.
If the Dodgers win tonight, they will go into first place. Colorado beat Arizona.
How about that? After all the hand-wringing in Dodger land, the first month of the season. Giants have been playing well. They're staying over 500. Colorado has turned it on the last few days. 19 runs last night against the Diamondbacks. And then got good pitching from Kyle Freeland today to beat him again. So that thing is tightening up. And Smith has that ball run in on him. 1-2.
Did I read that correctly, that a fastball up and in first?
Oh,
that Daniel Descalso pitched in the 4th inning last night?
He pitched 2 2/3, and then Alex Avila pitched 2 innings. So they've had position players throw 4 2/3 innings.
But
first time there've been a team with 2 position players throw 2 or more innings in the same game since 1945. And German Marquez,
that's right,
the pitcher for Colorado, hit a home run off the position player Descalso.
an epic home run. One of the reasons they kicked that game is Shelby Miller started that game for Arizona, didn't have it, and in fact strained his elbow.
Yeah, they said his elbow's bothering him again. Just a couple of starts after coming back from Tommy John surgery. 1-2 to Smith. Nimmo would be next. Reyes runs. Smith strikes out. Inning over. 5 strikeouts for Scherzer. Mets get a little closer on the Plawecki home run, but it's 5-3 Washington as we go to the 8th. Life from the New York Lottery, you could win $1,000 a day for life. By Buick, experience the new Buick with a test drive at your local Buick dealer. and by Geico, over 75 years of savings and service. Look, there's Gus Bell.
How about your Mets?
62 Mets. New kids in town. Jacob Rame will come on to pitch the 8th inning for New York.
Boy, Rame has done the yo-yo act, hasn't he? From Las Vegas to here, back with the big club. Mets an inch closer with that home run by Plawecki. He needs a 0 here.
Last time Rame pitched was on Monday in Game 2. He threw 1 pitch, got Michael Franco to pop up, and then was taken out. It's like a perfect day. Matt Wieters takes Sloan away for ball 1.
You got Matt Adams in the on-deck circle. Looks like he's going to pinch hit for Max Scherzer.
I think Scherzer was trying to influence his way back into the game as Wieters flies one out to Dendecker in center. 1 out.
I don't usually say this about Max, but he looked winded in that last inning. Like he was sweating, and fastball velocity had dipped just a bit, because usually he can take it up a notch as he gets later in the game. But humid night, good start.
So here's Adams, who has been a real godsend for the Nats. Signed as a free agent after sharing last year between St. Louis and Atlanta. And with Ryan Zimmerman going down with an oblique injury in May, Adams has played most of the first base, and he's played really well.
He did it last year with Adam Lind, right? Whoever they signed. Robinson 4 years ago brought up to the minor leagues.
283, 13 home runs, OPS just below 900, and he flies this one to shallow center. Dendecker coming on to get it. So 2 batters, 2 fly balls to center field, 2 outs for Jacob Rame. Now Trey Turner has gone 0 for 4 tonight. Steven Matz went 6 1/3, 3 runs, 8 hits, 2 walks, 4 strikeouts, 2 home runs, both by Rendon. Those were his undoing. So Steven will go into the All-Star break with an earned run average of 3.38, which is right around the bottom of the top 10 in the National League. And Turner hits one to center. Longer run this time for Dendecker, and it beats him. Turner pulls in at second base with a 2-out double. 15th double of the year for Trey Turner.
Little slider stayed flat. I don't think Turner thought he got that. Didn't realize how shallow Dendecker was playing.
Yeah, he thought it was going to be an F8.
So the Nats have their 11th hit of the night. And now Juan Soto, who has 2 of them, a single to left, a single to center. Struck out looking on a Steven Matz curveball his last time up.
Looking forward to seeing his approach here against the right-hander for the first time tonight.
Soto's actually hit for a higher average against lefties than he has against righties. And the off-speed pitch for a strike, 1-1.
Looks like he has a pretty good idea up at the plate. Not a good pitch to swing at, 1-0, but took it real nice.
Remember when it was all the rage, Keith, that when you took a pitch, you'd look it right into the catcher's glove? Pete Rose made that famous.
Yeah, Pete always did. Pete always was a bit of a showman there.
1-2. Struck him out with a high fastball. Rame dials it up to 98 to get Soto and end the inning. Some serious gas from Mr. Rame. We go to the bottom of the 8th, still 5-3 Nats.
what do you do?
Run to first.
You got to give me a dirty look at least.
But you didn't do it on purpose.
All new episode of the SNY.TV digital series, The Amazing Life, presented by Coca-Cola. Watch it at SNY.TV/Coca-Cola. Kelvin Herrera, his 10th appearance since coming over from Kansas City.
I mean, what a great acquisition. This guy can throw 100 miles an hour.
Memo lines one foul. Ball boy couldn't find it. Now he does.
Good changeup and a breaking ball. He was a big part of 2014 and 15 team where it was Herrera, Davis, and Holland.
Hasn't gone quite so well for Herrera since joining the Nats. He's given up runs in 2 of his last 3 outings. And with Sean Doolittle on the disabled list with a toe injury, as Nimmo drives one deep to center field, back goes Taylor. They'll have room on the warning track to make the catch. Nimmo almost got it. It's a 403-foot out.
I'm thinking Herrera might be going 2 innings in this game.
Well, I was going to say, Dave Martinez made it pretty clear that with Doolittle on the disabled list that Herrera was going to be closing most of the games. So it would certainly appear possible that Dave is asking for 6 outs from Herrera tonight. Here's Cabrera against Herrera. He takes the backdoor breaking ball for ball 1. Herrera hit a pop fly double and scored a run in the first. Since then has struck out and grounded out. Cabrera just 1 for 8 in his career against Kelvin Herrera, who used to be Kelvin Herrera, but then decided he wanted to be Kelvin. Did he change back again?
I don't know. When you said Kelvin, I was so happy you said it because I wasn't sure which way to go.
You know, it reminds me of when Roberto Kelly was a player.
Well, yeah, that's right.
With the Reds, when he'd go into a slump, he would ask to be called Bobby. And then when he got out of the slump, he'd go back to being Roberto again. And then there's always the player to be named later, Harry Rasmussen, who decided mid-career he wanted to be Eric.
Eric. Eric, don't call me Harry.
Well, I saw the other day on the sheet, and it didn't confuse me because it's such an original last name, but it was Matthew Dendecker, not Matt Dendecker.
In the air to right center. Harper going back onto the track near the wall. It's out of here. As Dribble Cabrera with a towering home run. The Mets' 3rd home run of the night. Number 17 for Cabrera, and the Mets pull within a run. It's 5-4.
How much longer he's going to be here, but he is having himself an enormous season.
Yes, he is.
High fastball, got right on it.
17 home runs for Cabrera. It just 14 all of last year. And now Bautista, who's already homered tonight, was trying to go for the downs again.
A little above the belt. Look at the eyes on the ball.
The gun is reading 98 on Herrera, but it doesn't. The hitters aren't reacting that way.
So Herrera's now given up runs in 3 of his last 4 outings, and he might need some help. Much of that Nationals bullpen has been beleaguered. Remember early this year we were commenting about how often they were using Ryan Madsen. It's a good off-speed pitch, 1 and 2. Well, that caught up to Madsen. He's really had a rough go of it. Brandon Kinsler has struggled when healthy.
When they started this season, the entire bullpen either have been on the DL or the minor leagues, at least once.
I mean, the guy who's doing well, other than Doolittle, who's now hurt, is Sean Kelly. He's actually having a pretty good year. So it has seemed over the last few years that the Nats have each year had to try and patch together their bullpen on the fly. They did it last year. when they picked up Doolittle and Madsen and Kinsler. Low and inside, full count to Bautista, and doing it again this year, getting Herrera last month, and they may need more help.
I mean, when this young man was at his best, you had little or no chance.
3-2 to Bautista with Conforto on deck. And that's outside, and the Mets have the tying run on base. So now Conforto 1 for 3 tonight. And the way that was a milestone for Bautista, his 1,000th career walk. It only seems like half of them have come as a Met.
Herrera was angry. He thought that 3-2 pitch to Bautista was a strike.
Nats go full shift again against Conforto, who's 1 for 3. Hit one of the warning track in left field his last time up. And fastball inside. And Herrera really struggling with his command.
He almost overthrew that one. That one had some serious cheddar on it.
Scherzer went 7, allowed 3 runs, 5 hits, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts, 2 home runs, 101 pitches. Conforto shoots one foul, and it's 1-1. There is nobody up behind Herrera, so this inning is on him. Mets have been fighting uphill all night. The Nats got a 2-run homer from Rendon in the first. Mets got 1 back. Nats went up 3-1. Mets made it 3-2, then 5-3, and now 5-4. 2-1 to Conforto with Flores on deck.
He's got a lot. Herrera's got a rushing action, doesn't he?
He does.
Arm action.
It's one of the reasons he throws so hard, because you know, I don't know if you can tell on TV, folks. He's a little guy who throws hard.
Just 5'10". But generally he does not walk people. That's not a big part of his game. But now he's behind Conforto after walking Bautista. This year 1.6 walks per 9 innings for Herrera. 2.6 for his career. Well, Conforto's in a good spot. 3-1 with 1 out. And he goes after an off-speed pitch that was up, and it's 3-2. Well, he got Bautista at first, carrying the tying run with 1 out. 3-2.
I don't send him.
Can't, not with Conforto, the strikeouts.
I don't send him.
Not going. Popped up. Nobody over there. And it lands in the second row. That's quite a height mismatch.
Wieters is 6'5".
If I were Herrera, I think I'd stand a little higher up on the hill. There's Kinsler, the right-hander, and Matt Grace, the left-hander, up in the Nats bullpen. Herrera got the first out on a long fly ball to the warning track by Nimmo. Gave up the home run to Cabrera and a walk to Bautista, so he is not impressed so far. And he misses with a 3-2 changeup, and he's now walked back-to-back hitters to put the tying and go-ahead runs on base. And that is a frequent image for Nationals managers over the last few years, watching their bullpen.
Yeah, just beleaguered. You know, you make the move. The guy you bring in is so above quality, and he just gives up a ball that almost went out of the ballpark off the bat of Nimmo, a home run to Cabrera, now 2 walks.
I mean, he had walked 6 batters all season coming into tonight, and now he's walked back-to-back hitters after giving up a home run and a fairly stern talking to from Lilliquist before Herrera faces Flores. Wilmer is 0 for 3 tonight. Fly ball to right, fly ball to left, fly ball to center. Needs one more to reach Chris Bryant nirvana. Is it late enough in the game for Wilmer?
Yeah, it is.
He popped it up in foul ground. Reynolds, 2 out. Wasn't late enough. So 2 out and 2 on. And now Dendecker, who has walked and popped up twice. Well, this would be a nice little feather for Matt playing against a team that let him go.
Split the outfielders. He's got decent speed at first base and Conforto. Right, Keith? A little double.
Bautista carrying the tying run at second. Conforto at first with 2 out, and Dendecker takes a pitch at his feet for ball 1. Fastball, 1-1. Matt Dendecker, proud Florida Gator. Currently the only one on the big league roster. One. Little blooper on the left side in foul ground, and that'll go out of play. Tonight's starters brought to you by People's United Bank. 9 of the 1 of them was at the top of their game tonight. Scherzer lasted a little longer, got a little more run support. The difference in this game, a 2-run homer by Bryce Harper against Jerry Blevins in the 7th. Kelvin Herrera about to throw the 25th pitch of the inning. And Dendecker goes down on the changeup to end the inning. Mets get a run on the Cabrera home run, but then Herrera is able to work around a couple of walks. 5-4 Nats going to the 9th. Thanks, guys. It was nice having you out here tonight for the pregame festivities. Jerry's Familia will pitch the 9th inning for New York.
Boy, it seems since that Toronto game, the Familia has pitched a lot of games where Mets are trailing or tied. But I think his stuff the last few times has looked back to his great form a couple of seasons ago.
Pitched a 1-2-3 inning yesterday in the 9th against the Phillies. Anthony Rendon having a big night. Rendon homered his first 2 at bats against Steven Matz, a 2-run homer and a solo shot. Hit a ball in the hole that Reyes made a nice play on in the 5th, and then he had an infield single in the 7th and scored in front of Harper's home run. So 3 RBIs, 3 runs scored, 3 hits for Rendon. Grounded down to third. Nice stop by Bautista. The spin and the throw. Flores stays on the bag. A terrific play by Jose Bautista.
Nice backhand. Got the long hop. It's all about the play that he's just getting off his knees and making the throw across the diamond. Nice play. Nice big hop.
You know, I think what people forget with his playing right field all these years, how great an arm Bautista has. Strong.
Before he became an everyday outfielder, he was really a jack of all trades for a few years with the Pirates and got to play a lot of different positions, including third. Here's Bryce Harper, who hit the 2-run homer in the 7th against Blevins that changed the nature of this game. It was 3-2 Nats. Harper hit the home run to make it 5-2, and the Mets have been fighting back since. Harper's 23rd of the year. That ties him for the National League lead. Tied in part with Jesus Aguilar. It was nice to see him win the final vote and get on the All-Star team. Thought it was well deserved.
Did Segura win in the American League? Great.
Also well deserved.
That's good. Aguilar in the home run derby?
Is he?
I don't know. I was wondering. Gotta be.
I heard there were 8 contestants and 7 of them are from the National League. That's not the way it's supposed to be, right?
No, it's supposed to be American League against National League.
I guess those don't exist anymore. And they wonder why people don't care about the All-Star.
Oh, jeez.
I mean, really, the battle between the leagues was the whole point, right?
Yep.
But Major League Baseball, in its wisdom, for whatever reason, has basically decided to mute the separation between the leagues. And so it goes. 1-2 to Harper, and he struck him out. Nasty slider by Familia. 2 men down. SNY Super Slow Motion is brought to you by your Mercedes-Benz Tri-State dealers. Mercedes-Benz, the best or nothing. Looking ahead to the bottom of the 9th, the Mets will have the lower third of the order. Plawecki, Reyes in the pitcher spot. Still have Rosario, Mesoraco, and Kelly left on the bench. Mark Reynolds 0 for 4 tonight. So the 8 competitors in the home run derby: Jesus Aguilar, Rhys Hoskins, Kyle Schwarber, Bryce Harper, Freddie Freeman, Max Muncy, Javi Baez. 7 National Leaguers and 1 American Leaguer, Alex Bregman. Go figure.
Baez wins in a landslide.
You think?
Just because. I just think it's a good story.
How about Muncy?
Muncy's a great story too. What's he got? 21 bombs in the first half. Unemployed last year.
Can't have patience in the home run derby anymore. Now it's all time. Can't take pitches and wait for the perfect one. Call strike to Reynolds, 1-2. My wife loves watching the home run derby.
I know a lot of people like watching the derby. I don't get it, but maybe
I don't.
I gave up enough home runs in my career. Maybe I don't want to watch it anymore.
I do think it's better now since they started timing it. It's a more fun event to watch. 1-2, struck him out. Another strong inning by Familia, helped out by the defense of Bautista.
1, 2, 3 for Jay Reese. He's got that sinker working. Look at that move. Woo. Mets come to bat in the bottom of the ninth, down a run.
Post game, the Manny Machado sweepstakes. We have the latest, plus Charles Oakley in trouble again.
All right, you're good.
Hey, you good?
I got a little cash on the side.
You do what you gotta do. We'll see you.
Glad to see that Chris has found work.
That was funny.
37-year-old Ryan Madsen will try and save it for the Nats. Kevin Plawecki leads off in the last of the ninth. Plawecki homered his last time up in the seventh.
Yeah, he's one of the relievers that spent some time on the disabled list, just reinstated a couple weeks ago. Gary was saying he was such a big part of this team last year, acquired from Oakland, 3-0 with one save.
Got 3 saves this year. And he gets a borderline strike to Plawecki, 1-1. Jose Reyes on deck. And then the pitcher spot. Mets have been behind this entire game. Line, base hit. And the Mets have the tying run aboard. Second hit of the night for Plawecki. And now we'll get a pinch runner.
Lugo.
Ty Kelly is going to run for Plawecki. And then you can use Mesoraco to pinch hit for the pitcher, and then if you go to the 10th, you got Mesoraco in the game anyway. So now Reyes. Well, the last 4 games the Mets have won at Citi Field have come on walk-off home runs. Reyes trying to bunt his way on. That was not a sacrifice. Running up on it. I mean, if you're going to sacrifice.
I don't think he knows the sacrifice part of bunting. He only knows the bunting for the base hit.
Ball and a strike to Jose. Ahmed Rosario is out on deck to be the pinch hitter. I think I said the last 4 have been walk-off homers. Last 4 have been walk-off wins. The last 3, all on this homestand, have been walk-off home runs. There goes the runner. It's bunted in the air and drops foul.
Now, what's the purpose of that? Running and bunting.
I think Ty Kelly ran on his own there. I can't believe it'd be a bunt and run.
But wouldn't he have known that a sacrifice was on?
I'm just astounded that someone that's just been called up from AAA would have a green light. Astounding. I mean, you're not going to put a bunt and run on a sacrifice.
Well, now it's 1-2, so I wouldn't think there's any way Reyes is bunting here. Rendon, though, staying in on the grass. And Jose hits one over the mound, right at the bag, and
nice.
It gets to Turner in time to get the force. Turner just standing on the bag, waiting for it to come to him, hoping the ball would beat Kelly there, and it did.
Yes, sir. That is that was a tough decision to make right there, and the right one. Nice play, nice heads-up play. The Mets are fortunate it just didn't go right back to Matson.
So now you got Reyes aboard, so that changes the strategy maybe a little bit.
Well, Matson's going to have to keep him close.
So now Rosario, who's had a couple of really good games in a row, 2 hits last night, went 6 for 13 in the series against the Phillies. Got the night off tonight. The reasoning for him getting the night off, Mickey Callaway said he's been really hot, but Scherzer's one of the best right-handers in the game, and I don't want to mess him up. And it's up and in. Change up for Madsen. No intent. Brandon Nimmo, who provided the heroics last night, is on deck. That's tied a major league record by winning 3 straight home games on walk-off home runs. Second time the Mets have done it, and only the 11th time in the major league history. Mets did it in 1988. Kevin Elster, Howard Johnson, Kevin McReynolds had walk-off home runs and 3 straight home wins. Well, Matson is doing his due diligence.
Yeah, not a big lead for Reyes. He's able to go back in standing up.
Matson has given up 4 stolen bases this year in 4 tries.
Rendon's having to play in a little bit at third. He's guarding the line.
Rosario hits a double play ball. Turner steps, fires, and the Nats hang on to win. 6-6-3 double play. Matson gets the save. 2 home runs by Anthony Rendon and a big one from Bryce Harper, and the Nationals hang on to beat the Mets 5-4.
Well, it's a game where Max Scherzer, who will get his 12th win, didn't have his best stuff. Went 7 innings, 3 runs, gave up the 2 home runs to Bautista and Plawecki, but the bullpen hangs on for him here. Harper, who's had a tough season, gets the deciding 2-run home run in the 7th, his 23rd.
There's your Jeep game summary. Nats creep a game over 500. Scherzer gets his 12th win. Mats takes the loss as Rendon provided the keynote and Harper put down the hammer. 5-4 Nats win it. More coming up from Citi Field.